Today, I'm going to be ranking animes on how good they are to edit. Warning, this video might make you mad. Now you might think to yourself, why are there only 20 animes in the tier list? And that's, my friends, because almost half of the edits I've ever made are on one of these 4 animes. No, I am not joking. If my calculations are correct, about 46% of my edits are on one of those 4 animes. So it'll definitely be interesting to see where I rank those. And if I don't rank your favorite anime, it's probably because I haven't edited it or it's just irrelevant. Okay, so let's get started with the ranking. First off, we got Blue Lock. It's kind of hard to rank because at the peak of Blue Lock, it can definitely be in the A tier, aka absolute cinema, like on the last episode of season 2 where the animation went crazy, and also there's just a bunch of other really cool parts that work well for edits. But unfortunately, most of Blue Lock's animation is trash, and so because it's super inconsistent, and I would definitely say that it's usually bad animation, just because of the potential and the multiple episodes that are really good, I think it's perfect for C tier. Next anime, we got a movie actually, A Silent Voice, which is probably my favorite anime movie. Now it's very beautifully animated and the art style is also amazing, which does definitely help, and honestly it has a beautiful story to it, so I definitely think that it works really well with like sad and vibe edits. But because it is very limited to those kind of edits, as it doesn't really have any like action or anything like that, it can't be too high because it's just not as versatile as some of these other animes that are going to be coming up, and so I'm going to put it in the B tier. Next up, we got Bleach. Now I actually haven't seen Bleach, but I have made an edit on the big 3, so it included Bleach, so I definitely got the Bleach editing experience. It definitely got a lot better since the new seasons have came out, as those ones have really good animation compared to the old Bleach where it's very inconsistent as well, and so that definitely helps it, and so I think Bleach is gonna have to go in the C tier. Again, if I have watched it, it might go even higher than that. The last thing that I forgot to mention also is that because it's an older anime, at least the old episodes are usually not in very good quality. Next up, we got a very new anime, Dan, which honestly I loved. I didn't make that many edits on it. I think overall I made 3, maybe 4, but those edits were very fun to make. The animation was really good for the most part, and it's honestly very versatile. It has good fights, it has like cute moments, and also like some romance in it, so you can definitely do a lot of different like types of edits. But the only downside to it is that it does have only 1 season so far. Now season 2 is coming soon, so if season 2 keeps it up, it might change, but at least for now, until season 2 comes out, I'm going to have to rank it at B tier, and I would rank it above A Silent Voice. Next up, we got a very underrated anime that no one talks about, which is Hajime no Ippo, and honestly it is very underrated. It has pretty sick animation even on the first season, which is pretty old, so the quality is not very good, but the animation is very good, and the newer seasons keep the animation up as well as obviously better quality. Now because it is very underrated and not many people know about this anime, I think I am going to have to put it on C tier, but just because it's more consistent, I do think it's better than Blue Lock. Next up, we got our first anime that is one of the most popular animes to edit and is one of the 4 animes that I made the most edits on, which is Jujutsu Kaisen. There's really not much to say here. JJK goes straight to absolute cinema tier. The animation is amazing, great characters, so many cool moments that work perfectly for edits, and just very cool quotes as well. Like you have the Gojo, I'm the strongest, and so many more. So just because of all of that and the fact that it's insanely popular, and that's not even mentioning the fact that it's only the 2nd season so far, it definitely has to go into the A tier. Next up, we got One Piece. I love One Piece. It's probably my favorite anime of all time. I grew up on it. I've been watching it weekly for years now. With that being said, it's not the best anime to edit, and that's basically because most most of One Piece has pretty bad animation. It only recently, from about the Wano arc, where they actually started putting more effort into the animation of One Piece, and so anything past Wano has really good animations, especially the big fights, which are amazing to edit, like the Luffy Gear 5 moments, the Zoro versus King fight, and so many more. But most of the moments before that really don't have great animation, and unfortunately because of that I cannot put it in the A tier. With that being said, I think just because of how iconic it is and how it's one of the most popular animes of all time, I will still put it in the B tier and even at the top of the B tier. Next up we got Vinland Saga. Now Vinland Saga is a great anime with great story, and honestly it has really good animation as well. Very underrated. I think it was made by the same studio that made the first like couple seasons of Attack on Titan, and it is also pretty versatile because it has good fights but also some really good story and character development, so you can do different kinds of edits on it. With that being said, it's not the most popular anime, and I don't really think it has any moments that broke the internet, quote unquote. Editing those moments definitely helps with getting views. I will still have to put it in the B tier, and I think I'll put it behind Dun Dun Dun. Next up, we got Attack on Titan. Now, I want to start with this. Attack on Titan is one of my favorite animes of all time. The story, the characters, everything is so good. With that being said, Attack on Titan is going into the mid tier. I don't know what is it with me specifically, but I just can't make good Attack on Titan edits. Like, I do have some that I think I'll find, but I never really get like great ideas for them. And the animation is definitely pretty good for Attack on Titan, but it's not like the normal type of like clips that you would usually have on most animes, just because the way they fight in there is very different, which just makes it very weird to edit. Now, if I had to rank it objectively, I would definitely put it at higher tier, but because it is just based on how much I like editing them, I will have to put Attack on Titan at the D tier. Next up, we got Hunter x Hunter. Now, Hunter x Hunter is very interesting because it's not as long as like something like Naruto or One Piece, but it's also pretty long, and it does have generally pretty good animation as well. So everything is just kind of good with it, but not great. Like, it has good moments, but nothing like insane. And the characters are pretty cool, but like they're not as iconic as some of these other characters. And so I think because of that, I'll have to put it in the C tier, but I will be putting it at the top of C tier. Next up, I know it's not an anime, but I'll still count it because I've made multiple edits on it. We got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse / Into the Spider-Verse. I'll count both of those obviously together, and those movies are honestly pretty great to edit. The animation is amazing, the art style is beautiful, and it's also super unique, which makes your edit pop out. And it's Spider-Man, so honestly there's really not much more I need to say about it. Spider-Man is going to go straight into the top of B tier. Now, the only reason it's not going to be in the A tier is simply because there is only 2 movies, and we've been waiting for the third one for the longest time, and it keeps getting delayed. If the third movie is as good as the first 2, I definitely think it could go into the A tier, but as it stands right now, there's just not as many clips for it. Okay, so next up we got probably the most popular anime to edit of all time. Especially back in the day, this was the one anime that was getting edited the most by far. Now, I do want to say that in the last couple of years, it definitely fell off and not as many people are editing Naruto, but honestly I think that's just because it's been edited so much in the past that it's really hard to make anything new about it. So it definitely has to go into the absolute cinema tier, and I would even put it at the top. Now, I don't think it's perfect. There's definitely a lot of parts in Naruto that are not well animated, but for the big fights they always pop off and always deliver, and thanks to that and to the fact that it's one of the most popular animes of all time and there's so many iconic moments from it, it definitely deserves to go to the top of A tier. Next up, we got Haikyuu. So I do believe I've only made 2 or 3 edits to it, which is not that many compared to some of these other ones. With that being said, every time I edit Haikyuu, it's very fun, and honestly, the animation is pretty good for the most part, and I do think it's one of the more popular sports anime. Probably not as popular as Blue Lock, but it's definitely close, and just because it is a lot more consistent than Blue Lock in my opinion, I do think it deserves to go into the B tier. I will put it right behind Vinland Saga. Next up, this is a very controversial one. We got My Hero Academia. Now, putting all the cringe My Hero community aside, the actual anime is pretty good. It has some good parts and some great animation, at least for the big fights. And on top of that, it does have a good amount of movies that always pop off with animation as well. Okay, similarly to Hunter x Hunter, I think it should go right behind it because it's honestly just very okay at everything, but not great. Next up, we got Classroom of the Elite. Now, this one is very weird because honestly, like whenever you see a Classroom of the Elite edit, it's almost always just on Ayano. He's literally the only like relevant character in the show, at least so far, and he is pretty sick, which is why some of the edits that are made on him are very cool. But because you are very limited with it, and honestly, he also doesn't have that many good clips generally because the animation is kind of basic, and also it is just a high school anime at the end of the day, and so there's never really anything too crazy going on. I do think it does have to go into the mid tier behind Attack on Titan. Next up, we got one of the biggest animes in recent times that honestly just blew up, and I'm pretty happy about it, which is Solo Leveling. So even though it is pretty similar to Classroom of the Elite in the way that honestly the only character that is really relevant in the show for the most part is Sanjin Woo, I think the anime is just so much better for editing because the animation is amazing, especially in season 2, and there's just so many cool parts. Like almost every episode has at least one cool part that you could use for an edit. This might be controversial, but I'm actually going to be putting it in the absolute cinema tier right behind JJK. I don't think it's at the level of JJK or Naruto. I do definitely think there's a big gap between those, but it's just so popular. There's so many edits made on it, and to be frank, Sanjin Woo aura farming just can't be beat, and so I think it deserves to go into the A tier. And next up, we got the father of shonen anime and one of the most popular animes of all time. Now this might piss some of you off, but I'm going to have to put Dragon Ball in the F tier. I can already see you guys going down to the comments and absolutely flaming me, but honestly that's just what I think, and it's not because I don't like Dragon Ball. I definitely grew up on Dragon Ball and I think it's so iconic and there's a lot of cool moments from the anime. With that being said, this tier list is about how good these animes are to edit and how much I enjoy editing them, and I just don't really enjoy editing Dragon Ball. I think the animation is for the most part not very good at all, and a lot of the fights they animated in a weird way to make it seem like they are fighting very fast, as you can see here, and those clips are really terrible for editing. Like I don't even remember the last time I saw a Dragon Ball edit on my feed. Because of that, and also because of the fact that I just want to put something in the F tier so it's not empty, I will be putting Dragon Ball there. Next up, we got Avatar: The Last Airbender. Again, not an anime, I know, but I've made multiple edits on it, so I'll count it, and I think Avatar is pretty good. It has decent animation, some pretty cool parts, and it is very popular. Now, a couple problems with it is pretty old, so the quality is not great, and it's also kind of hard to find the episodes to download. So because of that, and also the fact that it is not as relevant as it was maybe 5 years ago, I will be putting it in the D tier. I would say above Attack on Titan because I do enjoy editing it a bit more. And for the last one, we got Demon Slayer, which very similarly to JJK, it's definitely have been one of the more popular animes to edit in recent times. Every time there's a new season of Demon Slayer coming out, you definitely can't go on your social media without seeing at least one edit on it, and honestly I can see why. It has great animation, very cool and unique art style, and some very unique and sick characters, which just makes it so easy and so fun to edit. The way they specifically animate Demon Slayer is so good for editing because they use a lot of slow-mo and just very smooth animation, so it works perfectly. When you try to twixter it, it just ends up looking great, and the consistency with the animation is also amazing. Demon Slayer definitely has to go into the absolute cinema tier, and I would put it right behind JJK just because I do think JJK has a bit more iconic moments compared to Demon Slayer, but honestly that very well might change with the new movies coming coming out very soon. At least so far, I do think this is a perfect spot for Demon Slayer to be. And with that being said, this is my tier list for best animes to edit. Let me know what you disagree or agree with. If you want to learn how to edit like me, make sure to check my editing course out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.